Hi, we are Martin and Shahab, and this is a video walkthrough for our Banjo-Kazooie level as a replacement for Bubblegloop Swamp. For this level, we were given the moon as the main theme of the level. In order to match the silliness of the Banjo-Kazooie world, we added the idea of cheesy moon to the theme. In this particular level, the moon made out of cheese is occupied by Gruntilda. She is trying to harvest space cheese and destroy the moon by her army of rats. She has built a giant factory on the moon, harvesting cheese and poisoning the moon with toxic waste. There are three NPCs in the level. Jeremy, Cheesy Resistant Mouse, is a mouse leading the resistance against Gruntilda's actions. He is a French-looking mouse that has traveled to the moon to stop the cheese abuse. Hamburger, American Space Monkey, resides at one of the three areas where Gruntilda is sucking up all the cheese. He was sent to the moon to check out what happened to Loika. Loika, Russian space dog, is a dog that was sent into space by Gruntilda to explore the possibilities of building a moon base. Similar to most levels of Banjo-Kazooie, Cheesy Moon level features three main areas of interest, or bubbles of activity. As it is shown on the image, these three areas are filled with different activities and designed to utilize all of Banjo's moves. These three distinct areas are connected to an interest point in the middle of the level. The interest point gives a decent overview of the level and paths to explore. In order to give the player a decent bearing of the level, we place the starting point of the level close to the interest point in the middle of the level. The reason is to give the player a quick overview of the areas to explore and make it easier to navigate through the level. Establishing the proper scales was our first priority while designing the level. We used a plugin for Banjo-Kazooie Level Editor to export the original levels into a 3D package software. By exporting the Banjo-Kazooie character model, we could measure all the jumps and moves of Banjo and create a measurement tool that we can use to build our level. Our measurement tool consists of 5 different metrics for all Banjo's moves. As it is shown on the image, the longest jump belongs to short jump pads. Short jump pads are green pads with an image of Kazooie's foot on them, which allow Banjo and Kazooie to use the shock jump spring, sending them high in the air and give them access to otherwise unreachable places. The shortest jump is Banjo's regular jump, which is the most common move in the game. In between there are Banjo's double jump, Banjo's backflip, and Kazooie's jump. With different levels exported and compared with each other, we managed to obtain the overall scale of the level with the features we wanted to have in it. In Banjo-Kazooie, puzzle pieces are distributed in different bubbles of activity and always serve as a reward for a certain activity. In our level, every Jiggy can be collected after completing a certain challenge or activity. These activities consist of platforming challenges, mini-games, or collecting a certain amount of items in the level. In Cheesy Moon level, the player can collect 3 puzzle pieces by completing 3 quests given by NPCs, 5 puzzle pieces from 5 different platforming challenges, 1 piece after finding all the Jinjos, and 1 piece by reaching the Witch Switch, which requires platforming. Most of the Jinjos are placed around the map in a way that there is a difference between the difficulty of finding them, usually 2 being harder to locate. They are distributed in places which require careful observation and exploration. Also, they are in places from which they cannot seem to get away on their own. Jinjos are located in places which are mostly tangent to the regular path of the player. The location of the Jinjos in Cheesy Moon level is shown in the picture. Mumbo skulls are centered mostly around the edges of the map and away from main path, encouraging camera movement in order to be found. They are placed in amount of 5 or 10 within levels based on the transformation of Banjo. In our level, there are 10 Mumbo skulls located around the map. The location of Mumbo skulls is shown in the picture. Similar to most levels in Banjo-Kazooie, there are 2 extra lives in this level. They are placed in spots fairly concealed and require more exploration. There are 2 honeycombs in Cheesy Moon level. They are placed in hard to reach and challenging spots. Witch Switch is located on the rooftop of the factory, one of the highest spots in the level. Most levels in Banjo-Kazooie feature 14 or more enemies. Our level features 16 enemies in general. 7 of the enemies are roaming the level, and 9 enemies appear in a minigame. One of the main elements of Banjo-Kazooie levels is the minigames. Minigames in Banjo-Kazooie are usually suited in a small and separated scene. These games are usually simple, with familiar mechanics which are easy to learn and revolve around the already established moves of Banjo-Kazooie. The minigame in Cheesy Moon level is a simple game inspired by Space Invaders, using Banjo's jumping moves. Inside the spaceship, Banjo will face waves of mouse trying to steal Loika's cheese stash. Banjo needs to activate the mouse traps inside the ship by jumping on them, and stop the waves of mouse from stealing Loika's cheese. Similar to Bubblegloop Swamp, the special move in our level is the Wading Boots. The Wading Boots is introduced at the beginning of the level. The player will be encouraged to use the boots early in the level before engaging in any puzzle or minigame. In Cheesy Moon, we use a transformation which sees Banjo becoming a cat. This lets Banjo to climb to higher areas in the level. These areas are distinguished by a blue color representing moldy cheese. This also allows Banjo to access a specific part of the level with extra notes and jiggies. Similar to Freeze's Peak, the level after Bubblegloop Swamp, our level doesn't feature any boss battle. Instead, Cheesy Moon level features more platforming challenge and dangerous areas around the map. With the amount of activities packed in this level, boss battle could increase the overall difficulty of the level and affect the overall flow of the game. At the beginning of the level, Banjo will immediately walk into Bottles. He explains what the Wading Boots are and how to use them. This is the first important dialogue the player will receive early in the level. There are 3 different NPCs in the level, each with their own minigame attached to them. As Banjo gets closer, they will start a small conversation with a maximum of 3 sentences, explaining what their issues are and suggesting how Banjo can help them. After finishing the challenge, a small conversation will occur and Banjo will receive a puzzle piece.